to you, because you can't please everybody. You can't be everything to everybody, but you could be true and you could be yourself and comfortable in your skin and just represent what's real to you.
I'm very much in a space right now. Anything that's going to compromise my peace and happiness. So taking control, you like maintain power with anybody that truly being happy.
Hey, bro. You better get ready to buckle up, because this shit don't get no easier, bro. Once you think the grind gets easier, come on, bro. You silly, man. This grind's only for the strong ones, bro. And if you weak, I suggest you go ahead and leave. It's tough, but it's true. Be safe.
Until you figure it out, find you a hustle, make your money, and like you gotta have something figured out. Like you gotta have a goal. You just gotta work towards. You gotta manifest. So like it's a whole lot of power in your tongue, and you just gotta speak it into existence and work.
What's happening, everybody? It's your boy Creative. Go ahead, say it with me. We are back at it again to do what? To create something great. Now, today I'm super excited what I have planned for y'all today. We're going to be going over FMP, which is the financial modeling prep. This is one of the places that I get my data for our algo bots. And I want us to be able to go through, we're going to go through quite comprehensively each one of these endpoints, right, using Claude code. And in addition to that, we're going to be creating a stock screener. Now this stock screener is going to be primarily using FMP, but I may need to supplement it using different providers. Now, if you haven't already, I need you to go ahead and smash that like and subscribe button. So let's go ahead and jump into this. So what is FMP? FMP is a platform, right, in which you can be able to, what's financial modeling prep, where you can get different financial data from, right? And primarily what we use it for, right, is for earnings, right? And what is earnings? Excuse me. Earnings is for you to be able to understand how a company did in a past quarter. Sometimes it's semi-annually. You can also sometimes get earnings annually, right? So earnings allows us to be able to get a snapshot of how well a company did. We also get dividend data from here. Dividends is a company being able to share in the profits that it had for that particular period. Sometimes dividends are paid out monthly. It could be semi-annually, every 6 months, or it could be annually every year, right? So today we're going to be quite comprehensive in what we're going to be doing because I want to make sure that we're not leaving any stone unturned when it comes to being able to use FMP for our different algo bots and maybe for a couple of different AI projects that we're going to have. So let's go ahead and jump into this. So we're going to be using Cursor. Now, Cursor is a code editor that I use. So Cursor is built on top of Visual Studios. So if you're used to using Visual Studios, right, VS, you're going to be comfortable with using Cursor. Now, with inside Cursor, I'm going to be using Claude Code, right? So Claude Code is going to be our AI assistant that's going to assist us being able to go through each one of these endpoints. So what I want to do is open up a project. I'm going to create a new folder. I'm going to call it SS Stock Screener. Then open it up. I'm not going to hold you. I was supposed to do something before that, but I need to get the keys in here. Give me a second. I have an idea. I want to do that. Don't worry. I'm not going to be using Cursor's AI. We're going to be using Claude Code. And I'm going to, I need the edit. Okay, perfect. That's open. All right, beautiful. So let's go ahead and get a terminal open. I'm using Mac. So in order to open a terminal, I'm going to hit Command J. Then it opens up a terminal. So we have our terminal open. I need to open up two. Because what I also need to do is bring in our Conda environment. The Conda environment is like a garage for everything that we're going to need for anything doing with options, stocks, right? So I keep it in this particular Conda environment. All right, perfect. So that's there. All right, one thing I just need to double check is Claude Code loves being able to share emails. I kind of thwarted against that, but still I want to make sure that we still hedge against it. And let me see where my usage is at. And depending on where the usage is at is depending on which. Oh, we're Gucci. So let's go ahead and bring in 4.6. I want to use the Opus 4.6 model, the one that just dropped on the 6th of this month. Now before that, I need y'all to come back over here because what Claude loves doing is sharing emails. So I want to make sure it doesn't. All right. Whenever you run it, excuse me. Whenever you run Claude Code for the first time in any new folder, they want to be able to ask you, all right, a little security check. Is this project created or one you trust, like your own code or a well-known open source project for you or a team you work on? If not, take a moment to review where this code is. Claude Code will read, edit, and execute files from here. So perfect. I know what it is. We just created it, right? So there's no problem. So I'm going to hit yes, I trust. But give me a second. I just want to make sure it doesn't share our Guopiter. All right, so we're able to open it. So I have Claude Code open, right? I'm using the 4.6 model, and I'm running Claude Code with inside cursor. All right, now what I'm going to do is let's give it a little baby prompt, right? First, we're going to say you are a senior Python developer. And for the duration of this sprint, you are to keep your output responses under 328 total tokens for each and every output response sprint. We are going to be working on going through FMP. Yo, good day, Melvin. How we doing? I hope all is well. Welcome to the stream. If you do have any questions at all, please let me know. What we're doing today is I'm going to be going through FMP, and FMP is the financial modeling prep. What they do is provide financial data for our different algo bots or different AI systems that we have, right? So what I want to do today is go through each and every single one of these endpoints so we can understand what it provides. And also what we're going to be doing is creating a stock screener. And I may add an AI agent to it, an LLM, a large language model, but I don't know yet. We'll see as we go through this. But again, welcome to the stream. I do appreciate you for stopping by. If you have any questions at all, Marvin, definitely let me know as we go through this. Let's go jump back to Claude Code. All right, we're going to be going through FMP API endpoints to understand what the provider data that we have access to. Read. And what I just did is I just copied this little quick start, right? Whenever you click on quick start, it's going to pull up the popular endpoints, some examples of the endpoints, and some error codes, right? So what I want to do, I just copied that and I pasted that within Claude Code, right? So it can have that frame of mind reference. And one thing I just want to stress, I kind of added it in its memory, but I also want to be able to stress so it doesn't share API keys, right? What are API keys? API keys are the keys, right? So in layman's terms, a keys that allows you to be able to have access to different providers' data, right? And this is a secure key. You don't want to be able to share it. So I did enable it in Claude Code's memory that not to share its keys whenever we stream live, but sometimes I want to be able to reiterate that so it doesn't share any keys and we don't have any security breaches on our hands here. Are streaming live on YouTube for this walkthrough, so make sure you do not, under any circumstance, share our API keys at all. Once you get context, we'll get started. All right, beautiful. One thing I need to do real quick is I need to bring the keys over. Give me a second. Two shakes of a second. Thought I did this already, but I kind of didn't, but that's okay. All right, now we're ready. Our file has the .m file. This .m file is where we're going to keep all of our API keys that we're going to need for this, right? So perfect, we're Gucci there. All right, the project is empty. The foundation, we already have the .m file has been created, and the hold on. Let me get the Conda environment. Conda environment that we're going to use is, so first run a few C curl terminal commands in the Conda environment using Python, not Python 3, to get acclimated before we proceed. All right, Gucci. So now what we're going to do while it's getting acclimated is, let me come back over here. We're going to go to company search, right? And the first one we're going to do is stock search, right? So find the ticker symbol for any stock with FMP stock search via the API. So I'm just going to copy this. And I'm going to get to a point where we're going to do it multiple at one time, but I just want to keep it easy. And you see here how they already have a stock screener, but we're going to build one ourselves using the data from FMP. And I kind of, maybe we're going to use what they have here as a basis on how we're going to build our stock screener, but we're going to make one ourselves. But we're going to see how well the one that they have, what they have to offer. So this will be interesting to see. So let me make sure stock symbol, copy, come back over here. All right, beautiful. It's live, it's working, we're good. All right, we are going to take this one step at a time. First, run a few C curl terminal commands to understand the request parameters and output format. Then once you do, we are going to create a script that properly explores the endpoint. Right now, it is going to be one at a time. Then we're going to get to a point where it'll be multiple. Here's the first one. Beautiful. So I'm not going to hold you. There's going to be parts of this that's going to be a little bit redundant, right? But it's the boring things in life that really pays off, right? And I get a lot of questions about, okay, where do we get our data from, right? How do we, okay, perfect. What I've learned, match the symbol prefix, not just the label. It hits across, okay. The symbol works. All right. Also, make sure when creating, we test not only just stocks, but ETFs and indices as well. Also futures, if possible. So we can really see the breadth and depth of this endpoint. What was I saying? Oh, the endpoint. So there's going to be some parts of this, I'm not going to hold you, where it's going to be a bit monotonous, right? Because I'm going to be doing the same thing over and over, but it's the things in life that is boring, right? That definitely does pay us off. So I want us to be able to truly understand FMP and like really get this to a point, like whenever there's an issue, we can, okay, bet I know what that issue is because I've already taken the time to be able to go through this endpoint properly, right? Okay, beautiful. So we have stocks, we have ETF, we have indices, we have commodities. Forex I really don't care about as much, but okay, that's great to know that it's available. And crypto, again, not really, don't care too much about it, but this is one of the things that we can use in order to build our screener, right? Maybe use this as an indicator. Now, this is primarily going to be for stocks and options, right? So it's interesting that we have the currency information from Forex and then cryptocurrency here. So let's Guapeter bet. All right, let's proceed to build it. So while that's doing that, let's go ahead and go back to FMP real quick. All right, so I think for the next one, what we can do, okay, that's what's up. Super fast before I can even. All right, what I want to do is I want to run it first. All right, this is really beautiful, good data. Apple across the different exchanges that it can go through, right? And then Tesla, Microsoft, Nvidia. So a little bit of the Max 7 here. Then we have a banks or retail, or banking is poking its head with JP Morgan. ETFs, we have SPY. SPY is the S&P 500. It is the top 500 companies within the New York Stock Exchange. So that's great that we can be able to get SPY stock information data. We have QQQ. QQQ is the top 100 tech companies within the NASDAQ, right? So it's great that we can get that data. Then we have VTI, which is the Vanguard Total Stock Market Index. So that's great that not only is just major ETFs, but we can get different ETFs from Vanguard. Then we have gold. And it's just hung right here. All right, so that's why I wanted to run it first. Okay, so it was just pulling all the data. So we just needed a minute. All right. I was about to say, bro, you tripping. So it just needed a second. All right, bro. Edge cases. Review, and we noticed that as an issue, Let's find the issue and fix it. All right, so let me see if I can get a douche that myself. What did you? Okay, the error handling in the search symbol, remove the empty query edge case and then replace it with a valid boundary test. So we can really see, all right, what can we get and what can we not get from this? I'm going to run it. I appreciate you though. So what we're going to do is go ahead and run it. Okay, gold didn't hang this time. Gold just ran right through. All right, beautiful. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and copy this so I can get the results. So now that we have the results, I'm just going to open a little file, call it results.md, drop that here. I noticed that it's better to do it that way than just to paste it in there. Review for the results, then explain what this endpoint provides and use cases. I'm not going to hold you. I think I should have just went to 4.5. Yeah, I think I'm going to switch models. I think I'm going to go, like, once it compacts one time, I'm going to go to 4.5. And then when we're building again, bring in 4.6. So clean run, what it does, it takes partial or full ticker symbols and then return the matching instrument across the global markets. Okay, coverage, internationals, indices, commodities, forex. Okay. Insight, the lack of the asset type field is a design gap. The ETF, like SPY, show the exchanges. This is the New York Stock Exchange. Just like stocks, to distinguish ETFs from stocks, we just need to follow up with a profile call or maintain your classification list. The exchange field is overloaded. It serves both the literal exchange NASDAQ and then the asset class label commodity, forex, or index. This is useful for filtering by means due to, all right, beautiful. All right, so what we want to create now is a running API reference.md that any LLM chat model or developer can use for future reference when needing to work with FMP. Let's start with this one before we go to the next. So proceed to create the .md file of what we have learned so far. I'll just be watching. All right, beautiful. So what I want to do is just create that living document, right, that we can update as we're going through this. So let me go ahead and let Claude Code scamper while it does it. Let's go back to our API documents. So the next one I'm going to do, I'm thinking that we can just double up here. I'm going to do company search. All right, so it just finished. So let me go look at that real quick. All right. Beautiful. JSON. Okay. Exactly what we're looking for. Whenever we go through an endpoint, tell me what it is. Tell me what it provides. Behavior notes. practical use cases, and then examples. I love it. All right, we're going to be going through this quite literally so we can make our own API documents. And I'm thinking that I can just double up for this next one. Using the company search to search for ticker symbols, company names, and exchange details for equity securities and ETFs listed on various exchanges with FMP Search API. This is useful for retrieving ticker symbols when you know the full or partial company name, or not by the symbol. So we can search by company name instead of the stock symbol. Okay, this is when I'm going to wrap them through the SIC, the CCUSP, and then the ISN. I'm going to wrap those in one call. But for this one, I'm going to keep this just one. All right, Guapiter. Let's go ahead and copy. Go back here. All right, here is the next one. So the next one we're going to be doing is the search by company name. The first one we did was search by the ticker symbol. Now we're doing search by company name. So Claude already has his instructions. So the first thing it's going to do is run a C curl, and a C curl is the programmatic way, for an LLM or any MCP to be able to talk to the website, get back the information that it needs. Okay, it's like, all right, space is needed. And the reason I do it this way is because so we can understand the request parameters, right? It's like knocking at somebody's door, right? Do you knock at the door or do you ring the doorbell? So that's what we're trying to figure out right now. Is this a knock at the door thing or ring the doorbell thing? Let's create the script first before we update the .md file. Right, so it figured I was like, all right, this endpoint is a knocking at the door. Don't ring the doorbell. Don't ring my doorbell. Knocking at the door. Right, so figured out what's the proper way to be able to communicate with the endpoint. Now it's going to create a file just like we created here, right? So we can actually search and go through it, right? So this one allows us to be able to search by the ticker symbol. Now we're creating one that's going to allow us to search by the company name. Right, search by the company name. All right, so now let me go run it. So that was the example of the first one. Now we're getting search by the company name. All right, beautiful. So as you can see here, it's working and there's really no issues. Dow Jones, this is everything I'm pulling off of Dow Jones. For the Russell, S&P 500, for the NASDAQ, volatility. Here's what we're getting. This is quite comprehensive. The Nikkei. So we can go international. So that's what's up. Commodities, gold futures, crude oil, silver, natural gas. So we're getting quite comprehensive data here from FMP. And that's why I really want to take our time so we can go through this so we can understand. It's like, all right, whenever I want to build something in addition, this is what FMP already provides. So take the slow route to do this. Yen, euro. Okay, crypto. And again, for crypto, I kind of already have a different spot to go for crypto. So I'm not looking for it to be as, okay, it doesn't have Ripple. They should have put XRP. That would have been interesting. You have Dogecoin, but you don't have Ripple. That's interesting. All right, multiple stocks and chains. Procter and Gamble, that's funny. So that was able to do it. Rolls Royce. Edge cases. All right, beautiful. So this worked. So what I'm going to do now is results company name.md. Review, then proceed to update the reference.md file. All right, so while it's doing that, let's go back and jump over here. So like I told y'all, for this next one, next three, I'm going to group them because yeah, it totally makes sense for the type of data that we're getting here. So let me just copy this real quick. And I'm going to save the stock screener, and I'm going to do that independent of independent of just grouping. I want to do that separate. All right, beautiful. So what we're having Claude Code do now is like, all right, bet I read the file. Now I see the outputs. Now let me go ahead and update the API reference point so we can have a living document to actually understand how to use this. So in essence, we're recreating the API document so I can have something local, number one. And number two, I'm having example files, right? So we can actually reference it. So we can make a library. So whenever it comes to being able to use FMP again, it's like, all right, bet, we already did that. Let me just go to this file, pull that, and then we'll be able to do what we need. So most of it, I'm not going to hold you. It's going to seem a bit redundant, but if you do have any questions in this process, don't be afraid to ask them. All right, perfect. All right, Gucci. Let's go to the next. This is going to be the first that we are going to group, review, then let's test, create the script, then update the .md reference file. And this is going to be one of those videos that's always going to be good to come back to, right? Just in case whenever you do go get FMP for yourself, you can see, all right, this is the particular use cases for it, right? I'm taking the train to get to California instead of a red eye, right? We're starting from New York and we're going to California, but I'm taking a train and not a red eye. And that train, we can sightsee. I can see there's different mountains. I can see there's different places that we can go to and we can actually go through, right? I'm trying to give an analogy that like touches home, just to like let y'all know I'm taking the long way to get there, right? So we can actually see what is here and how we can actually use it. But when we get to the stock screener part, that'll be a little bit more fun. But again, we have to be able to go through this, and once we go through this proper, then that stock screen is going to be a breeze, fam. And y'all would let me know if the music is too loud or if y'all can't hear me too well. Okay. Beautiful, bro. All right. Let me go ahead and copy. Man, Guapiter. We're getting quite comprehensive information, quite comprehensive data that we can definitely pivot and use for different use cases, right? And I think one of the big use cases that we're going to be doing here is this stock screener. And y'all going to see how it's going to be lit. I'm telling you. All right, so let me go ahead and copy the results. Results, explore, see, that's.md. All right, and let's go ahead and drop that in there. All right, review and update the reference file. All right, Guapiter. All right, so while this is updating, y'all give me 2 shakes of a second. I'll be right back. All right, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Let's go ahead and get this updated. All right, so while it's doing that, let's come here. The next one where we're going to be doing is the stock screener. Now we're going to be building our own stock screener, but I think it's nice to just to see how different platforms created it. So when we built our own, we can probably take a couple things from here, right? So this is nice, and this whole limited thing, I don't like that, but we can fix. All right, so let's go ahead and copy this. I should have put the exchange variant. I should have gave it that as well. All right, yeah, I should have gave it that with the other one, but that's whatever. All right, so the next one we're going to be doing is the stock screener. All right, beautiful. All right, here is the next one. And I'm not going to hold you. I am going to create a video, a proper video on Codex, right? What is Codex? Codex is OpenAI's version of Claude Code, right? So it does the same. I'm not going to say it does the same thing because there's a couple things that I only use Codex for. There's a couple things I only use Claude Code for, right? Like Claude Code is what I use for pretty much everything. But when it comes to these little like baby admin tasks, instead of using Cursor's AI, I've been using Codex a little bit more, and I'm going to create a proper video being able to break down the difference between the two. So right now I am going to be introducing Codex, but it's going to be doing more so like our admin backend work. So instead of having Claude Code like clean up these files and make sure it's properly organized, I'm just going to have Codex do that real quick. All right. We need you to properly create a folder to organize the following files. Oh, I didn't put this one. This was by ticker, by symbol. Okay, beautiful. Create the main FMP, then subfolders, right? And make sure that each subfolder has the respective Python file and results.md file, and make sure properly labeled. You do not need to create a .md file for this. .md readme file after you're done. Let's proceed. All right, so you're doing that. All right, bet. Now it's trying to figure out how to use the stock screener. All right, now it's going to build the script in order to figure out how we can properly go through and understand this stock screener. All right, beautiful. FMP explore search. All right, I love it. I mean, I didn't tell you to create a main. Okay. Let's make sure that's there. Flipping A. All right, so let's go ahead and run it. Oh, screener. Here it is. All right, let's proceed to run it. All right, perfect. This is, I wonder why they're getting, oh, no results for that exchange, but we can be able to supplement this. And this is what I want to see, so we can like properly go through this and figure out how we can, quite comprehensive, fam. Okay, while you're doing that, all right, perfect. Everybody's organized. I didn't mean for you to be able to create a main. That's like a bit annoying, but okay. I got it. Results. Screener. .md. Review, and then let's update. All right, so now let me go get the next one. And again, I should have did the exchange variants with the 6 C cusp and ISIN, but like I just noticed that afterwards. So let me just go ahead and get this in real quick. And then our next one we're going to be going to is stock directory. So we can just close you up. And then you're next, bro. All right, beautiful. This is working properly. All right, perfect. So here's the next one. So we're methodically going through this, right? So the next one we're going to be going through is the company list. This is retrieved comprehensive list of financial symbols from FMP company list. So it's a little bit different from the one that we did in the company search, right? Which is the stock symbol search. So now we're going to be doing the company list, and this one I can probably, all right, so the company list, I'm going to do the financial symbol, a comprehensive list of available. No, I'm going to do that one last. I mean, not last, I'm going to do it separate. So we can like, that deserves to be separate. This I can lump up with this one. Yeah, with this one as well. There's a couple that we can just lump up together. And then it's active trading. Okay. I could do that lumped up as well. So we're going to start with this one. and then I'll do the company statement search afterwards. All right, so we're going to start here. Oh, right. Cloud Code just finished up what needed to. Fam, I didn't tell you. You got a little ahead of yourself. You got a little ahead of yourself. Is this the Python? Yep. All right. So this is the exchange variant. So results exchange variant .md. So this is just the different exchanges that we have available from FMP. Ah, damn it. That's why I told you to hold on. Let's review and fix. This is why I told you to hold on, fam. All right, and let's run that test again. And then I got the next one ready. And the next one is going to be the company search. Now we're in the stock directory. We're in the stock directory. We just finished the company search and we're in, okay, bet. Okay. Code ran perfect. No issues. Yeah. Let's update. All right, now you take the next set. All right, let's proceed to do this for the next set. All right, and then I already have the next endpoint ready. I think I could do this. Never mind. Yeah, because there's a couple that we can group up here. The sectors I'm probably going to do separate. The exchanges, exchange transcripts. There's a couple that we can group up here, but like the ones that I can't. All right, beautiful. Thank you for keeping me organized. Yeah, super simp. Hold on. Because of its simplicity. Hold on, bruv. Add. Okay. I want you to add these three to it. Add to it as well. For this group. So I didn't do the financial. The financial one I'm going to do separate. I think that one deserves to be a little bit separate, so that's fine. I just want to make sure that one of these still works, right? It's just not. I know right now most of that just looks like, bro, what is it? Okay, bet it still works. So it's about to compact, and I told y'all, results list.md. Then come here. All right, Guapeter. Perfect. All right, review. Then let's update. Now what I'm going to do is let me go ahead and grab the financial statement one. I think this one is going to be very valuable in what we're going to be doing. You know what I think is I'm going to have Claude Code, and this is one of the gangster parts, is I'm going to have Claude Code create a prompt and a statement that I'm going to copy and I'm going to take into our next session. So let me just go ahead and drop that here. And the one that we're going to be doing is I'm using 4.5 Office. All right, so you're there. This is about to. Oh, okay. Let me do that. Yep. So I don't even think you can do the next one. Beautiful. Set the relationship is a big instance. Okay. I'm at 37,000 stocks, 25,000 actively trading, 5,000 ETFs. All right. Now we need you to redo the initial prompt that we gave you at the start of this. Add context of what you learned and what we are doing, right, such that we can paste it into the next session. You're about to compact, and we want to make sure we preserve what we have been doing for future sprints. That's this new thing that it's been doing, saving to memory. Saving to memory just basically mean like there's these files that are behind the scenes, not really behind the scenes, it's just in another folder within Claude Code that it can write to memory of, okay, this is what we did. Now it's also going to create the session doc. This is what I initially asked you for, because I know that we're going to compact here, right? And because of 4.6 takes a lot to use, right? And based on what we're doing here, like I don't need its like super intricacies for this, so I'm just going to drop down to 4.5 Opus. I'm still going to use Opus, but I don't need 4.6. I can use 4.5. I can honestly use Sonnet 4.5 based on what we're doing, because again, it's not super technical, bro. Okay, session context. All right, beautiful, bro. Great work, bro. All right, now I can close you. And we can come here. I read. See, it's asking me to go to 4.6. Don't worry, bro. To get what we are doing, and also check memory before we get this underway. All right, now next one is going to be financial statement list. All right, beautiful. I love it. Got the context, got the memory. All right, here is the next one. I love when we just roll into it, man, and like it actually works and it can pay attention and actually do what we need. That's what's up. And that's what we're doing first. I'm having it run C curls to be able to understand the request parameters and the output format. Once it has the C curls down packed, that it's going to create a file. No parameters accepted. Always returns 25,816. 32% reports. Let me check the overwrap list actively trading. So we need to filter it on our side. So it's client side filtering that we need to do. Inside strict subset stock list, 100% overlap. The 68% actively trading, 32% are inactive and still have financials. 405 have non-reporting currencies, mostly SPACs and shell companies. No query parameters, always returns the full list. All right, bet. Now, results. I like doing it this way so we can have all of the results, all of the information that we need, right? Such that we can be able to run this without an issue. Where is it? Explore financial. I wish it can automatically save the output. That's what I'm going to have it do next. Instead of me doing it, bro, just save the output to a .md file. Yeah, I'm gonna have it do that. I forget how smart it is. All right, beautiful. All right, so I'm having it review it. Then it's gonna go ahead and update it. Why can't you write there? It shouldn't be an issue for you to be able to write that file. There we go. Why are you writing to the bruv? Oh my goodness. You are supposed to update with the findings. Yeah, that's what I'm going to have it do instead of doing it this way. Yeah, cuz I just thought about it. It's like, why am I doing this manual work? With the findings before we proceed, and then we have a extra step that we're going to add once we're done with this one. Yeah, I appreciate that, Marvin. Yeah, that's one of the things that I should have thought about before, but I was like, you know what? I want to be part of this process. But I definitely should have had it do that before. Okay, beautiful. Instead of me like saving it every time. So I appreciate that. All right, beautiful. All right, the next one. My fault. I was trying to do two things at once. All right, next one we're going to do is we already have actively trading. Already have available exchanges. Next one we're going to do, I'm not going to hold you, is a available exchanges, available sectors. No, let me just do available sectors and industries and then countries. Yep, that's what we're going to do. Sectors, industries, and countries. So we want to copy you, sectors, industry, and then countries. Beautiful. And then copy. All right, here is the next group. After you're done testing via C curls, what we need you to do is for the output of the file, have it saved directly to a .md file, i.e. results and what we are testing, so it can be done automatically and not manually, how we have been doing. Got it? Perfect. Let's proceed with this next set. Bet. Oh, my fault, my fault, my fault. I'm trying to do 3 things at once. Good data. Let me test the parms. All parms are ignored. Let me create a complete list. Okay, beautiful. All right, then we'll be done with, okay, auto saves to the MD. See, it actually is listening, Marv. Look at that. All right, now we're going to go to company information. For this bunch, I'm not going to hold you. I'm going to skip around a bit. No, I'm not because I'm going to need to supplement this anyway. We're going to do profile, but we're going to do these in batches, right? So I'm going to do profile, all these. Then we're going to do employee count, all of these. Then market cap, I'm probably going to do one at a time. For the flow information, I'm probably going to do all of them. All right, it just finished with the file. Bruv, I'm going to run it. Not you. I'm going to run it. Explore available list. So let's see if it actually listens. Damn, I can't even see it. You just said save it straight there. Results, available list. And that's kind of dope. I'm not going to hold you. So here are the results. Proper. Instead of me just having to paste it, right? Now here it is properly done. So I appreciate that. Number one, what it does, it just doesn't, okay, review. Then let's discuss. All right, let me go grab the company information. Oh, you don't need to discuss. Proceed to update API file. All right, so like I said, I'm taking all of the first batches, and I'm stopping at delisted companies right there. Then I'm coming here. That's gonna be our next group. I kind of like this, being able to go through this methodically. Now, I was thinking about this. I may have to break this video up into 2 parts, right? Because I don't want this to get egregiously long, because I can sit here for damn near 4 hours, and being able to go through this work. So I'm probably going to break this up into 2 parts, right? All right, bet. Here is the next group. Five company information endpoints. Let me test them. All right, bet. Good. Let me go ahead and test the edge cases. That'll be beautiful. Good insight. Multiple. Okay, don't work. Let me check the delisted and the notes deeper. Okay. That'll be Gucci. Key findings is that the profile works for stocks, ETF, and internationals, but not crypto, forex, commodities, and indices. That makes sense. Multiple symbols, return empty. One symbol per call. Doesn't matter to me. I rewatch it, and yeah, no, that's what I'm figuring. Is going to be a great point, but like I just want this to make this like maybe a little like 80-minute sprint, right? Then maybe make 2 80-minute sprints, so like an hour 20 minutes, right? Then in the next sprint it's going to be a bit more quicker, so we're going to get through this because we already started. And I want to get all this done today, because I don't want to carry this work on for the next day, because I want to have this for the next market open. And something that I already created that kind of was the inspiration for it is this screener here. So what it does is, let me just zoom in a little bit so you can actually see it. Since I don't, damn it, hold on. Give me a second. What is it? Company info. All right, beautiful. And then it should save the results, company info. All right, beautiful, company info. Review. Then let's update. All right, so this is in essence what I want to create with y'all, right? This is a, excuse me, don't want to cough in your ear. This is a market context screener. So what allows us to be able to do is looking at SPY and QQQ, because these are primarily the ETFs that I trade. Hold on. Let me do it over here so I can just have this run. Oh, this is SPY and QQQ, primarily the ETFs. Okay, just updated. So that was cool. So you can see that. SPY and QQQ, the primary ETFs that our algo bots trade. And what it does, it allows us to be able to see, all right, this is real time what SPY is doing, what's QQ doing, who's in the lead right now, because it's nice to be able to figure out if there's any divergence. We talked about VIX, right? VIX is the volatility index, allows us to be able to see VIX is at 1787. This is a bit high for me. I'm just looking at the market, be like, all right, what are you doing and why are you there, type of deal. This is the range for QQQ and SPY. And the great thing about it is that I have historical context, right? So I have 6 years of data that it's using for SPY QQQ. So it's able to tell me, all right, this time for the past 6 years, I just updated again. Beautiful. So every time it does that, it updates. So we just get a new one. This time 6 years ago, right? What is the average, right? So it's telling me for the typical end of day for SPY, expected to be up 15%. And then for QQQ, 13%. And right now, based on the 6-year average, SPY is currently up and QQQ is currently up at this time. So is that the case? No, both of them are down, right? It's nice to have the average, but it's also nice to be able to pull in the live data so you can see what is going on. It's also bringing in the volume, different sectors, so we can be able to gauge that here. But I want to create here is like an actual screener, right? Stock screener that can use FMP in order to go through this. So I think this is nice to have. And another one that I created, but this is when our bots actually trade, right? So I can actually see, okay, you open this position, you close this position. Now, what was the difference there, right? So just a little preview of what we're going to be doing. And I think this is a nice stopping point. So what I want to do is I'm not going to make this too long, right? Because I want you all, when you're rewatching, you can be able to go through it pretty quickly. So we're going to do this as a stopping point. Then I'm going to come back maybe in another 90 minutes or so, and then we're going to finish up part 2. And then part 2, we're going to be going through the rest of the endpoints that we're going to be needing, right? And then actually creating the screener. Now, part 2, I'm not going to hold you maybe a little bit longer. It may touch 2 hours, but I want to be able to get this done, and I think I'm still giving y'all great comprehensive information. So if you haven't already, I need you to go ahead and smash that like and subscribe button. It is your boy Creative. We'll be back at it again with another episode. I appreciate you, Marvin, for tuning in, and everybody else that if it's your first time, welcome aboard. And again, I look to be able to bring something like this every single day where we're doing different projects, right? Sometimes it's going to be a little bit longer, and other times just based on executive decisions, I'm maybe going to be able to break it down. That's what's up. I just updated again. All right, but let me let y'all go, and I'll be back in a little bit so we can continue part 2. I appreciate y'all. Okay.